In the year 2147, the skies above Earth had become a canvas of dread. The Zorith Empire, a vast interstellar conglomerate of silicon-based life forms from the Andromeda Galaxy, had arrived unannounced. Their massive fleet, a swarm of iridescent obelisks that blotted out the sun, hung in geosynchronous orbit like silent sentinels. Humanity, still confined to its solar system despite centuries of technological leaps, was utterly outmatched. The Zorith didn't come as conquerors in the traditional sense, they came as judges. The first contact was a broadcast that infiltrated every digital device on the planet. A synthesized voice, cold and resonant like grinding crystals, echoed in billions of ears. Primitive carbon forms of soul, 3. Your species has reached the threshold of interstellar awareness, but you are deemed unworthy. Your wars, your pollution, your endless cycle of consumption, these are abominations to the cosmic order. We offer you mercy. Beg for our guidance, submit to our restructuring, and we shall elevate you. Resist, and you will be erased. The world froze. Governments scrambled, stock markets plummeted, and riots erupted in cities from New York to Neo-Tokyo. Dr. Alara Voss, a brilliant quantum physicist at the United Earth Research Initiative, UERI, in Geneva, stared at the holographic display in her lab. At 42, with sharp features framed by silver-streaked black hair, she had dedicated her life to unraveling the mysteries of spacetime. Now, those mysteries seemed trivial compared to the existential threat overhead. "They're not bluffing," said Captain Marcus Hale, her longtime collaborator and a former military strategist turned UERI security chief. Hale was a burly man in his 50s, his face scarred from a long-forgotten orbital skirmish. He paced the sterile room, his boots echoing on the titanium floor. "Scans show their ships have weapons that could vaporize continents. And their shields, nothing we've got can touch them." Alara nodded, her mind racing. The Zorith had demonstrated their power by casually disintegrating a rogue asteroid that had wandered too close to Mars. It was a warning shot, but it spoke volumes. Humanity's fleet, a ragtag assembly of fusion-powered cruisers and experimental drones, was laughable in comparison. Diplomats had tried hailing them, offering alliances, but the response was always the same: beg or perish. In the days that followed, the Zorith began their restructuring. They deployed atmospheric drones that seeded the skies with nanites, subtly altering weather patterns to force compliance. Crops failed in non-cooperative regions, and strange illnesses spread among dissenting populations. The United Nations convened an emergency summit, but fractures appeared. Some nations, like the Eurasian bloc, whispered of submission. "Better to beg and survive than fight and die," their ambassador argued. But not everyone agreed. In hidden bunkers beneath the Alps, Alara and her team worked feverishly. They had been experimenting with Rift technology, a theoretical gateway through spacetime, inspired by wormhole physics, but powered by exotic matter harvested from particle accelerators. It was meant for exploration, a way to leapfrog to distant stars. Now, it might be humanity's only weapon. "We can't fight them head-on," Alara told her assembled team, a mix of physicists, engineers, and hackers from around the world. "But what if we don't? What if we bring the fight to them in a way they can't predict?" The idea was radical. Open a rift not to another star system, but directly above the Zorith homeworld. Intelligence gathered from intercepted signals revealed the location of Zorith Prime, a crystalline megastructure orbiting a red dwarf in Andromeda. The Zorith, arrogant in their superiority, hadn't bothered to encrypt their communications fully. Humanity's AI networks, evolved from ancient neural nets, cracked just enough to pinpoint coordinates. "It's suicide," Hale muttered. "The energy required. We'd need to siphon power from half the planet's grids. And the rift could destabilize our own reality." Alara's eyes burned with determination. "Or it could save us. They think we'll beg because they've crushed lesser species before. But humans? We adapt. We innovate. We strike back." As weeks turned to months, the Zorith tightened their grip. Orbital blockades prevented launches, and their drones patrolled the atmosphere like predatory birds. Billions watched as iconic landmarks were restructured. The Eiffel Tower melted into a crystalline spire, a symbol of Zoreth dominance. Protests turned to uprisings, quelled by EMP bursts that left cities dark. In the shadows, resistance grew. Underground networks smuggled components to the UERI facility. Alera's team built the Rift Generator, a colossal array of superconducting rings buried deep in the mountains, fed by geothermal taps and fusion reactors. The device hummed with latent power, its core a swirling vortex of manipulated quantum fields. But doubt crept in. Alera's assistant, young Lena Kim, a prodigy in exotic matter synthesis, voiced the team's fears one night. What if this rift unleashes something worse? Black holes? Alternate dimensions? We're playing God here. Alera paused, staring at the simulation on her screen. A digital tear in spacetime blooming like a flower of void. The Zoreth are already gods to us. If we beg, we lose our soul. Better to risk everything than kneel. The turning point came when the Zoreth issued their ultimatum, a global broadcast demanding total surrender within 48 hours. Your leaders will prostrate before our emissaries. Fail, and we will commence planetary cleansing. Panic swept the globe. Suicide rates spiked, and doomsday cults flourished. But in Geneva, the team activated Phase 1, a global blackout orchestrated by allied hackers. Power grids flickered off, plunging the world into darkness to mask the energy surge needed for the rift. Hale coordinated the defense. We've got decoy launches from Siberia and the Pacific. Draw their fire while we charge the generator. As the clock ticked, the Zoreth responded with precision strikes. Missiles rained down on suspected resistance sites, but humanity's countermeasures, cloaked satellites and AI-directed countermeasures, bought precious time. In the control room, Alera initiated the sequence. The ground trembled as the ring spun up, drawing in exotic particles. Alarms blared. Quantum instability detected. Rift formation imminent. Above, in orbit, the Zoreth fleet stirred. Their sensors picked up the anomaly, but dismissed it as a desperate energy weapon. The primitives attempt defiance, their commander intoned. Prepare to neutralize. But it was too late. The middle of the story unfolded in chaos and revelation. As the Rift Generator reached critical mass, a tear in reality blossomed not in Earth's atmosphere, but light years away, directly above Zoreth Prime. On the alien homeworld, a planet-sized lattice of glowing crystals housing trillions of Zoreth consciousnesses, the sky ripped open. A gaping maw of swirling darkness appeared, spewing forth not weapons, but something far more insidious. Earth's own arsenal, redirected through the rift. Humanity had weaponized the portal. First came the probes. Autonomous drones loaded with antimatter warheads, emerging from the rift like hornets from a nest. They targeted the Zoreth's central nexus, the hive-mind core that linked their empire. Alarms shrieked across Zoreth Prime. Anomalous incursion. Spatial breach detected. The Zoreth defenses activated, energy shields flared, interceptor swarms launched, but the rift's proximity bypassed them. The drones detonated in synchronized blasts, cracking the crystalline surface. Shards the size of mountains tumbled into the void, carrying billions of digital souls with them. Back on Earth, Alera watched via quantum-entangled feeds. Phase 2, biological payload. Through the rift poured canisters of engineered viruses, tailored from human biotech. The Zoreth, silicon-based, had no immunity to carbon-virulent strains. The viruses infiltrated their networks, corrupting data streams and dissolving physical matrices. Panic rippled through the Empire as entire sectors went dark. The Zoreth commander, a collective entity known as the Overmind, broadcast a frantic message. What sorcery is this? You were to beg. This defies the order. But humanity didn't respond with words. Instead, they sent warriors. Elite strike teams, clad in exosuits enhanced with rift tech, stepped through temporary microportals linked to the main rift. Led by Hale, they materialized on Zoreth fragments, planting charges and extracting data cores. Hale's team fought through crystalline corridors alive with defending automatons. Laser fire scorched the air, and silicon shards exploded underfoot. For Earth, Hale roared, his plasma rifle cutting down a Guardian drone. One team member, Sergeant Rios, a veteran from the Lunar Wars, hacked into a Zorath terminal, downloading their tech schematics. Shields, weapons, everything. The battle raged for hours, the rift acting as a two-way conduit. Zorath counterforces tried to push through, but Earth's defenses, now augmented with stolen tech, held. Anti-rift fields prevented full invasion, turning the portal into a choke point. Alara, monitoring from the bunker, uncovered the Zorath's dark secret. Their mercy was a facade. They had exterminated dozens of species before, harvesting their worlds for resources. They're not judges, she realized. They're parasites. As the assault intensified, the overmind fractured. Subminds rebelled, overwhelmed by the viral onslaught. The rift expanded, fed by the chaos, threatening to consume Zorath Prime entirely. In a desperate bid, the Zorath fleet above Earth diverted power to close the rift remotely. Beams of exotic energy lanced toward the portal, but humanity anticipated this. Counterbeams from ground-based arrays intercepted them, causing feedback loops that shattered Zorath ships. Explosions lit Earth's night sky like fireworks. Debris rained down, burning up in the atmosphere as cheers erupted worldwide. But victory came at a cost. The rift's instability caused quakes on Earth, and radiation leaks from the generator sickened hundreds. Lena Kim sacrificed herself sealing a breach, her final words a whisper. We did it. The ending brought resolution amid the stars. With Zorath Prime in ruins, the Empire crumbled. Surviving fleets scattered, their unity broken. The Overmind's last transmission was a plea. We yield mercy. Humanity, ever pragmatic, didn't eradicate them entirely. Instead, they broadcast terms. Withdraw from our system. Share your knowledge, or the rift reopens. The Zorath complied, limping back to Andromeda. In exchange, they transmitted archives of advanced tech, faster than light drives, immortality serums, clean energy matrices. Earth entered a golden age, colonies sprouting on distant worlds. Alara stood on a rebuilt Eiffel Tower, now a fusion of human steel and Zorath crystal. Hale joined her, a data core in hand.
We didn't beg, he said.
No, she replied, gazing at the stars. We rose. The rift, stabilized as a gateway, became a symbol of humanity's defiance. No longer prisoners of soul, they explored the cosmos, wary but bold. And in the annals of the universe, the tale spread. Beware the humans, they do not beg, they rift.